Hello. My name is Troy White with Hoodoo Financial, and today I'm here to talk to you about the BRRRR method. BRRRR. So BRRRR is a method of investing in real estate, and we're going to talk about how the BRRRR method works. Excuse me. So when done correctly, the BRRRR method will result in passive income and a revolving method for purchasing more properties. So that's the purpose of using this method. It allows you to, when done right, to just do it over and over and over and over again, and your assets grow, and your ability to access larger and larger deals uh, increases. And so let's start. Step one. So what does BRRRR stand for? It stands for buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and repeat. So we're going over those steps. So step one, buy a property. So obviously we can go into a lot of details, and there's a lot involved with buying your first property. But I encourage you to use the BRRRR method to buy that first property. But what you want to do is buy a distressed property, a property that needs work, or a property that's in a distressed circumstance. And the reason because they're cheaper, and you're likely to have a motivated seller. So what's a distressed property and what's a distressed circumstance? Distressed property means don't buy a pretty property. Buy one, you want to buy the ugliest property on the block. So you start with the city you want to invest in, and then the neighborhood you want to invest in, and then you locate the property that fits your criteria. And that property should be one that you have the ability to inject value in. That is essential to this BRRRR method. You must inject value. How do you inject value? You you do something to improve the condition of the property. So that's what I'm saying. You want to buy the ugly property. It has no curb appeal, and the grass is 3 feet high. You cut the grass, you paint it up, put the trimmings on it. Now it's worth more, in theory. But also, in reality, you're going to, change the carpets. You're going to paint the inside, all the walls. You're going to fix things that are broken. You're going to replace the countertops and improve the bathroom somehow. Change the lighting fixtures and the appliances. But fundamentally, you just need to do what you got to do to make this property worth more after you start touching on it than when you first bought it. That's why you want to buy it ugly in the first place. Because if you buy a property where somebody has already fixed it up and it's already beautiful, then there's nothing that you can do to inject value. So buy a property. And well, we'll talk later about how you can combine multiple strategies with this BRRRR method. And so step two, you're going to rehab the property. That's what we talked about. You're going to fix the stairs. You're going to all the things that are run down, you're going to fix them back up. You're going to usually this means you're going to improve the kitchens, improve the bathrooms, um, and the basics. Install some new flooring. That's pretty much what I do for my units. Is change the flooring, change the carpet, uh, fix the walls, all the holes in the walls, paint it, nice trim, new appliances, kind of rejigger the kitchens, and pull those cabinets out and put new cabinets, and then embedded in this rehab. What I'm telling you, you need to rehab the property. Basically, you're renovating to add the value and prepare it for renters, right? So the best way you're going to do this, if you're going to use the BRRRR method over and over, if you're going to be a real estate investor, become familiar with the style that you're going to be using. Remember, I told you you're going to pick the city, you're going to pick the neighborhood, then you're going to pick the property, and you're going to stick to that kind of a routine, and that's going to be your niche. So you should go to Home Depot and Lowe's and walk around and find exactly the appliances you're going to use, exactly the type of flooring that you're going to use, exactly the style of cabinets you're going to use, exactly the sinks, exactly the hood over the stove, all that, everything that you need. Go find exactly the one you need and get the SKU numbers for all of them. So every time you go evaluate a property, you know exactly what you're going to need for that. You're going to know exactly, you're going to know, oh, okay, yeah, I need this many cabinets in here. You already know what it costs. You already have the SKU numbers. You know the ones with the corner, the ones that fit in the corner. You know the ones that go in the middle. You know the ones that go in the end. All of this is important. You know the countertops they have. You know the style of countertops that you're going to use in here, and you're going to do this over and over and over. Every unit you get, just repeat exactly what you did. You don't want to do nothing extraordinary like on TV where they go and walk around and find the most beautiful things and the bestest and try to be different every time. That's how you lose money. So you do not want to do that. You want to rehab the property, and you want to have it just like McDonald's. It's a certain system, it's a certain method, it's a certain process that you use for every one of them. Every one of them. Remember, your goal is not to be in a magazine for design and interior design. Your goal is to maximize the amount of money you can make. And this is how you're going to do it when you rehab the property. Second, you're going to rent out the property. So you bought it, you rehabbed it, now it's time to get the money. So rent the property, and you're gonna first thing you're gonna do to rent the property, you're gonna determine the rental prices that are available in your area, and you're going to find where you fit along the scale of those available rentals in your area. So this, it might be A1 rentals, meaning it's got all the bells and whistles. And then you got the slumlord version. So that's the range of possible rent that you can make. You're going to fall somewhere in between those two. And remember, you have your cookie cutter version of how you're doing every one of them. So this is going to help you predict your rental income before you even rent it. So then you're gonna find a renter. There's a lot that goes into that, and I'll include a link to an ebook that my wife wrote that give you some insight on. I'll include the link in the description and give you some insight into how to select your renters and all that whole process of being a landlord. And so you're gonna rent out the property, and so after you have been renting the property, the renters are helping you pay down the mortgage via the monthly rent. The monthly rent is going to be more than the mortgage. It has to be, or you shouldn't have done it. And so it's going to be more than a mortgage. So the renters are buying this property for you, and um, by injecting the value, meaning improving the rehabbing the property, that has made it go from the value when you first bought it, but to now it's more valuable. So doing those two things is creating equity for you. So you injected value that via rehabbing the property that made it more valuable. So it is now appreciated because of the sweat equity you put into it. And in addition to that, as the renters pay you rent, you're paying the mortgage down, so that's principal and interest. So you are buying more of the property every month. So now you have more equity in the property. What you gonna do with that equity? Step 4, you're going to cash out refi the property. Now, instead of cash out refi, one of the better options might be a HELOC, which is a home equity line of credit. But the point being, you're going to refinance this property. which means you're going to you might even go with a new lender. You in the meantime, I'm also a financial planner, so in the meantime, you should be improving your personal finances, right? That's going to give you the ability to get a better loan. And then this property's value has gone up, so there's going to be less loan to value. And so you're going to, and that equity pay down that I've been talking about. So all of these forces combine together to give you the ability to refinance this property. And so you're going to convert the equity into cash or in the form of a HELOC, which is is cash sitting there waiting for you to tap into it. And so so cash out refi is step 4, and then step 5 is you're going to repeat the process. So that means you're going to purchase another distressed property. You're going to use the funds from your refi or your HELOC to purchase another investment property. And you're going to try to get equity when you purchase that property. And so the thing about having a HELOC is that it gives you that ability to sit there in the power position. And so, for instance, let's just pull some basic numbers out of the air. So let's say you bought your first property for $300,000, and then you injected value by fixing it up, and the pay down, the renter has been paying it down. So so the result is you have equity in this property. So let's say you've changed it from 300,000 to now it's worth 400,000. Just picking numbers out of the air. So now that extra 100,000 is in equity. Now you get the HELOC for the 100,000. Now that's what I mean. Now you're in a power position. You can go search for a property that fits your criteria. You're going to find another distressed property, and a distressed property that you can use that 100,000. Let's call it 80,000, so that to as a down payment on that property. And so you use 80,000. All you have to do now with your HELOC is write a check. Bam, give me that. And so you write the check. That's your down payment. And so you're going to try to get equity when you purchase it. So that means the house that you buy, that you just put 80,000 down, you need to use this formula to search for this property. You want to find a distressed property that, now there's 2 ways to go about this calculation. I'm saying use market value. Worst case scenario, or another scenario, is that you use the after repair value, known as ARV. But the point being, I want to use market value. Market value times 70%. What does that mean? That means if the market value of this property is $400,000, hey, I'm only giving you 70% of that value. I don't know. My mind is not calculating that, but I'll do the calculation while we're sitting here. So the reason you only want to give them 70% of the market value is because when you get the loan, you want 70% loan to value. So 400,000 times 0.70 is $280,000. So you saying, hey, I give 280 for that property, period. And so not only that, we want to subtract the repair cost from the sales price. So that means this method helps you get every dime you put in back into your pocket. So market value times 70% is the maximum I can pay for the property. However, it's going to cost me another 20,000 to fix up the property. So subtract 20,000 from that 280. So now you're telling them, hey, I'll only pay you 260,000 for this property. However, in addition to that, I want to subtract the sales cost. That might mean if you're getting a hard money loan, that's the carrying cost, the cost that for you to continue to pay for the interest on the loan during the time that you're doing the repairs before you get a renter. And it could also include the fees that go to a realtor to to acquire the property and to sell the property if that's what you're gonna do. So subtract that. Maybe that's another six. Let's call it another 10,000. So they want 400,000. So you're like, hey, I give you 250. Now that's why I said you want a distressed property or a distressed situation. Distressed property is one where, like I mentioned, the property is in bad shape and needs repair. They can't sell it unless they put money into it. So you come along, you say, hey, don't worry about it. I'll do it, but I'm only going to pay you X amount. A distressed situation is one where the owners of the property can't hold on to it for some reason. It could be people are going through a divorce. It could be the person died and now it's going through probate. It could be that it's owned by a person out of state. They never even set foot in the property. It was handed down to them by a family member or something. They just want to get rid of it. So it's a lot of reasons why someone is in a distressed situation that will sell you a $400,000 property for $260,000. However, for $250,000, what if you can't? Well, at least we want to put this formula on the ARV. ARV is the after repair value. So what that means is, hey, if the market value of this hunk of junk right now is 400,000, then you got to figure out via the comps, comparable properties in the area, what would it be after I inject the value, after I fix it up and make it look pretty and make it, patched all the holes and fixed and repaired all the flaws in this property. What would it be worth? Well, if that's 500,000, then you could use this formula on the ARV, because you still realize that after success of your process, your property is going to be worth that number. Meaning, if you buy, if it's currently worth 4, after you inject value, paint it, do the yard and whatnot, it'll be worth 500. Then you do the 500,000 times 70% minus the repair cost minus the sales cost equals the purchase price. So the formula is MV times 0.70 minus RC minus SC equals PP. MV is market value, RC is a repair cost, SC is sales cost, PP is purchase price. And then through your negotiation, you have the ability, you have that space right there. The market value is here. The ARV is here, the after repair value. So that's where you can negotiate right there. So apply the formula to both numbers, and you can determine approximately where you sit, how you can make some money in this property, in this process. But you're going to repeat that over and over and over and over. And then remember, you could also use the BRRRR method when house hacking. So meaning you buy, and I'm always suggesting that you buy multifamily properties, because especially I like folks who like myself specialize in 4-unit properties, because a 4-unit property can still be purchased with a single family loan, a loan for a single family residence. So single family to 4 units, that's the same kind of loan. If your loan is if your property has 5 or more units, then it now becomes a commercial loan. So you can really prosper, especially from when you first start in that area, that realm of 4 units, 3 units, 2 units. It can do you good. But the reason I say 4 is because when you get one vacancy, then you still got 3 incomes coming in. So you're just 25% vacant versus if you owned a property just for one family, just a single family residence, then when they move out, now you totally vacant. And so no money coming in until you do all the repairs. And what I do, I use the income from the other 3 units to help pay the mortgage and to help me remodel the other unit. And I just keep doing that over and over. And so this is the BRRRR method Step 1, you buy the property. Step 2, you rehab the property. Step 3, you rent out the property. Step 4, you refinance the property. And step 5, repeat. Do that and you ballin'. Oh, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for listening. Holla back.